Welcome to Heavenlee. Please have a seat, and you have to remove your shoes. Let me take your temperature. Take your temperature, very good. We have a waiver that I will, for COVID-19, that I would like you to sign it and put it in. Thank you. That's my daughter Jennifer.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Heavenlee Float Spa.
My husband Robert.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
I'll explain to you. Do you want me to walk and talk
Okay.
about what flotation therapy is? Okay, so welcome to Heavenlee Float Spa. Here at Heavenlee we have 3 float pods. What is flotation therapy? This is a float pod. Something from Avatar that looks out of the movie Avatar. Within the pod there is 900 pounds of Epsom salt. The water temperature is 93.5 degrees, which is the same temperature as your skin. So what is floating? Floating simulates the Dead Sea in that your body completely lets go. After 30 minutes of floating, what happens is your body goes from being like this to like this. But more importantly, does it help you on the physical with reducing pain and inflammation? I believe that it reduces stress and anxiety because of the fact that your brain actually does shut down. We live in a world of chaos. That when do you have 1 hour to dedicate to yourself with no light, no sound, no nothing? It's nothingness. And I call us, float junkies. The goal is to be an expert in nothing. And that's what you achieve when you float. So we're all magnesium deficient, each and every one of us. That 1 hour of floating is equivalent to taking all of your magnesium supplements for the month. Huge. Magnesium, people believe that calcium strengthens our bones. However, it is the magnesium component that strengthens our bones. Also, being deficient in magnesium, the more that you float, it combats, and it is proven to combat anxiety and depression, and we live in just sheer chaos. So flotation is unbelievable. One of the biggest supporters of flotation is Joe Rogan. The Patriots, Tom Brady has a full pod in his house, and they float after every single game. There's something to be said for that, because it is probably the best form of physical recovery that you could do for your body and mind. We create an environment known as sensory deprivation, meaning there's no light and no sound, and it's going back into your mother's womb. There are people that are afraid of the dark and have severe anxiety. You do not have to shut the pod down, and you do not have to turn the light off. Within these pods, there is something known as chromotherapy. Each one of these light colors represents one of your energy meridians, also known as your chakras. I float with the light on. Not all the time, but when I feel the need that I need to be supported in some area of my life. Also, there's a float halo in there. We do this all day long, that we never do this. So, I like support when I float. I float with a float halo all the time. To me, it's when you float, what happens is you can't tell where your feet are from where your hands are. You get into this altered state of consciousness, and your body is just able to let go, heal, and be one.
How does the halo work?
So you just place it right behind your head.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it creates support for you, and you just, it's support for your neck.
Okay, and what temperature is the water at?
The water temperature is 93.5 degrees, which is the same temperature as your skin. There's 10.5 inches of water in here and 900 pounds of Epsom salt.
Okay, and is there any turbulence to the water, or it's just...
Right now, as you see it, this is in float mode. Meaning when you would come into the pod, this is float mode. I tell everybody to shut their phone off for a reason, that I call you out of your float and I say you have 5 minutes left on your float. The jets are going to turn on to indicate your float is over. When the jets go on, it goes through a UV oxidation cleaning process. So when, we're in this pandemic and we talk about, what do we do to sanitize these ponds? It's the UV sanitation process that we use. Also, we also have a medical grade hydrogen peroxide solution that we spray on after every use.
Okay, that's
over
definitely
30%.
Cool. Did you guys
peroxide.
add the UV after COVID, or was that always part
It's
of it?
always part of, they call the Dead Sea for, the reason, and flotation simulates the Dead Sea. However, there's 3 times more salt in a float pod than there is in the Dead Sea. You could go in, if you want to go in and shut it, the door. It's actually pretty cool, because this is what your experience is when you float. This is our infrared sauna. Nine heating elements in here. This is great for Lyme's disease. This is great for pain.
Oh, it's warm
and
right now.
Well, yes. Pain and inflammation. I'm only at 108 degrees. It goes up to 152 degrees. You detox completely when you're in here.
So this is like moist heat kind of thing? Like it makes you sweat? Like
Oh yeah, you sweat. I mean, oh, do you sweat? You come out like you came out of the shower. And you could feel your pain and inflammation being extracted right out of you.
And
If you go in there now, it's a very, very different than a regular sauna. Go in there and you'll experience it for yourself. I'm gonna shut you in.
what's providing the heat right now?
Infrared. They're right behind you.
Oh, so you can't actually see it.
You can't see it,
Oh,
but you can
that's
feel it.
interesting.
Okay. You want to go in?
Oh, it's warm in here. Wow, this is
That's actually warm. I always thought that you'd be able to see the light. I didn't realize it's invisible. And that's 106 degrees Fahrenheit. 106 degrees is pretty warm.
I think one of the great things that, obviously wasn't planned, but is an added bonus for Heavenlee is that we have 3 flow pods. You're in your own pod, right? There's nobody next to you. There is no need for social distancing because you're by yourself. When you're in the infrared sauna, you're by yourself. When you're in the crystal bed, you're by yourself. And when you're in the salt cave, you're by yourself. So there's nobody else in there. There is no practitioner. I believe that when you say yes to your healing will happen, and this is I call this place like a spiritual safe haven for people. People are looking for alternatives to heal. And there's, everything in Heavenlee Float Spa is here to support your healing journey. Everything. From flotation to the infrared sauna to my favorite is the crystal light bed. Crystal light bed brought me back my health, and most people have no idea what the crystal light bed is. I'm going to show you what the crystal light
This
bed
all
is.
seems so futuristic.
It does. Yes, it really does. But, I guess proof is in the pudding, right? It's how do you feel when you come out of a float? How do you feel after your sauna? What does your body feel like? you know? There's so many people that always ask me, well, Jenny, how many times should I come? Could I sell you something and say, oh my goodness, you need to be here? But I leave it on to you. Listen to your body. Your body knows better than anybody, you know? So that's my belief in where we are. And the greatest thing, especially during the coronavirus, is the coronavirus can't live above 136 degrees. So imagine you're sitting in a sauna that gets to 152 degrees.
How long do people generally stay in the...
In the sauna?
Yeah.
Half an hour.
So by that time, they're thoroughly sweating, right?
Oh, within 15 minutes, all of a sudden your pores start to open, and you are sweating profusely at that time.
That's very interesting. I read a study that when you sweat, your body removes like VOCs and some toxins that there are no other pathways to get rid of. Like, I know some people say that that's just like a rumor that like sweating is more effective, but it actually has been proven that when you sweat, it's an effective detoxification pathway.
Absolutely. One of the greatest benefits, especially in the infrared sauna, are those people that are suffering from Lyme's disease, because it pulls out your heavy metals and your toxins. It's proven to do that. You have a lot of infectious disease doctors that recommend Heavenlee for the infrared sauna.
That's a big problem on Staten Island, New Jersey, Lyme disease. In fact, people say it's much underreported. I mean, my mom has it. A lot of people I know have had it. So
yes. Infrared sauna. The award-winning combination that we recommend, especially if you have pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, is a half an hour in the infrared sauna followed by an hour float. And most people, when they start really getting into the love of floating, realize that floating for an hour isn't long enough. Staten Island is probably one of the only places, one of the only float spas that offers an hour float. When we first opened up, I thought, can't we do 30 minutes? And I said, no, you won't get the benefits out of a 30-minute float. You'll start reaping the benefits of an hour. However, the ideal number to float is an hour and a half. But that is dedicating an hour and a half of self-love and self-care to yourself, which, we live in a rat race that a lot of people are like, I can't do that. However, I am a, 2 to 3 hour floater.
you must get really still for 3 hours.
It goes by so fast, actually. You don't even realize you let your body go, and believe it or not, most people fall asleep within 5 minutes of getting into the pod. 1 hour of floating is equivalent to 4 hours of REM sleep. When was the last time you had 4 hours of REM sleep? We don't achieve that anymore. So
There are 7 total crystals. Each one of these represents
one of your energy meridians, also known as your chakras. Underneath this bed, you lie face up. We align them to your chakras, and basically what happens, it clears, aligns, and balances all of your energy meridians. I call the crystal bed one of the most powerful forms of healing that you could do for yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. What do I mean by that? I say oftentimes in life we feel like we're stuck in quicksand. You just can't move forward. What the crystal bed does is it kind of gives you that little kick that you need in order to move forward. With all that I have, I swear by the crystal bed, because the crystal bed brought me back my life and my health. I have one at home, and I go under my bed almost every day. The energy underneath here, everybody has an experience, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. And it's a pretty profound experience for everybody that goes
So
underneath
it looks
here.
like these are aimed, that you can move them to point at people's chakras. So that's what you would do, or the person does it themselves?
Nope.
How does that work?
I do it. I align them. Your eyes are closed when you're underneath here. And, sessions under the crystal bed are 20 minutes, 40 minutes, or 60 minutes long.
And each one has like
It's just, it's a light frequency and a pulse frequency. This is quantum physics at its best. And the bed comes from the Casa de Damanaccio in Brazil.
I think this is well beyond what most people even have the framework to think about. This is so interesting.
And you said the crystal was under it.
I amplify the bed by putting them underneath there.
That's the labyrinth.
Oh, this is.
You know the difference between a labyrinth and a maze? When a maze, you get lost. In a labyrinth, you always find yourself because they have a beginning and an end. Come to the center. There it goes. You ever walk labyrinth? You should walk this one. It's beautiful. You just follow the lines.
So how do you start? Right on the
Right
outside?
here. Exactly where you. Yeah. It's beautiful. Make an intention when you walk it. It's like a meditation. This is one you're supposed to meditate. I have two at home. Can I take a picture of you right there?
Sure.
This room, you get all the benefits.
So you said the salt usually comes through there?
Comes through there.
It's like a mist?
It's recommended.
But even with that off, you could already...
You can already feel the effects of that. Okay, give me a good picture. What are you doing? You getting out?
No?
Okay. Because if you're getting out, you have to look where she's standing. That's exactly the
Oh,
spot to
okay.
get out. Okay, continue your arrow. Remember your line. Look at me. Continue this way now. And get out.
So,
You see?
so which way? You go first,
No,
Isha.
no. Just continue this way. And this is your path again. And that is the difference between the labyrinth and the maze. And the maze would never have these two lines. You see? And then you're going to come out right here. How is that on your feet? Hurt?
A little bit.
It hurts a little bit, I agree with you.
It's like walking on rocks, but they're
Yeah.
not cold, so it's okay.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. I should have given you something to put on.
That's okay.
A lot of people do it with socks, some people do it barefooted. I cannot do it. I think it's really the stuff.
And what kind of incense is that?
from Brazil. We have them for peace, prosperity, and all everyone. And we like to do that. I think it is quite nice to have it with the field. So we do that every single morning with the different kinds of incense. And they came from Brazil. Yay! You see? Yeah, you get out. You get out. Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, this is, we stick our head in the triangle, actually.
I did it.
And, you know, the triangle represents faith, love, and charity. It could represent, you know,
And then
earth, wind, and fire. Oh, it's incredible, right? It's extremely.
Both of them finish it.
Yeah, I do this. This is my baby.
You see how she do it? I can do it.
This is what I do. Put your hands up like you're pointing straight up to heaven. Third eye goes in.
Are you going to sell it someone else with?
You guys can see the if you have something you want. It's just going to be a lot.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Very detailed.
Within Staten Island, we have ley lines that run underneath. There are these energy meridians underneath, and believe it or not, Staten Island is a highly spiritual, highly evolved
Very spiritual.
area. However, people are not awakened at this time, and I believe places like Heavenlee, where the vibrational energy and the frequency is so high, it's starting to attract people to be able to come in and to feel. They realize something, but they don't know really what it is, right? So, especially when you're in these rooms, because there is an energy current that comes right through here. So, like when you stand in the middle of this room, you know, you could feel something. You may not know what you're feeling, but you're feeling something. And, you know, the woods in Staten Island are just absolutely beautiful. We come from, you know, Indian reservations, a lot of Indians that were here and shamans that were here that have blessed this land and blessed this soil. And, you know, people think that that this is the end of the world. And I look at it as something completely different. Well, you know, it's the dusk before the dawn. It's the new. It is a new beginning. It's a new world. We will have universal consciousness. It's just, you know, people are going to evolve when they're ready to evolve. It's one day at a time, and honor where you are today, because tomorrow you could go from here to here. You know, we're shifting constantly, and this ascension process is happening so fast. It's incredible. So we're lucky to be alive at this time. Many people don't feel that way, but I look at it as such a blessing and an honor, and I'm here to do my spiritual work and be a light worker and to help everybody ascend forward. That's why we're here.
And I say, we have this room, marching forward.
Dig your feet in and ground your energy. Gets rid of negative ionizations. Moisturizes your skin.
And these are done with UV also, you guys disinfect things, or this is just disinfecting itself?
It's disinfecting itself.
We do in the sauna disinfecting, so we still
yep.
We disinfect the shirts, we're still doing anything like everybody else. What they want, we can do nothing with them. So,
There's 84 trace minerals.